I'm talking with Travis Welsh, and Travis, I understand the latest update as far as the compliance measure with the police department and the DOJ has been released. What can you tell us about how much has been accomplished now by the Missoula Police Department?
It has been released, Peter, and we've posted it on our Facebook page as well as the city's website under Police Department News. And what it says essentially is that there are 24 requirements that we have agreed to accomplish in our agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice, and we have met compliance on 23 of those 24, and in fact, in many of them have sustained compliance. And to go one step further, on the 24th element, we have attained partial compliance. Now, what that means is that that's an ongoing issue, and we are in the process of completing the safety and accountability audit and completing reports documenting that effort. And when that is done, we will have achieved a compliance there as well. And we expect that to be completed in April, and we're hoping to see the final report showing our complete compliance in May.
Now, Travis, the whole idea of this, of course, was the investigation into how both the university and the Missoula Police Department were handling the problem of sexual assaults. And tell me specifically what just a few steps that the police department has done to try to enhance their response to sexual assaults here in Missoula.
Well, thank you, Peter. I'd be glad to. And I would start out with the creation of a Special Victims Unit, or SVU, that we have aligned specific personnel and put them in a separate space that is a little more conducive to the type of work they do. We have reconfigured our interview rooms. That includes now the creation of a soft room, is what we call it, that is designed in such a way to be less clinical, a little more comfortable for victims that we deal with to sit down in comfortable chairs in a softer environment to speak with our investigators. We've added a crime victims advocate to the mix and created an office space for that person in our SVU, and we've also engaged in additional training to help us understand what it means to go through trauma of such a horrific event as a rape or a sex assault, not from the standpoint of having experienced it, but just to understand what trauma means and what trauma does, and how we interview people of trauma and how we interpret the things that they do and say as a result of having gone through it, and really trying to improve our victim service.
How has the response been from the public who have had the opportunity to experience this enhanced training?
Well, as you may not know, or as you know, we have also engaged in a victim survey, and it seems that thus far the responses with all of our new improvements have been positive. We're happy to see that, and we're happy to be at a point where we are now looking at the bottom end of this period that encompasses the agreement.
Now, Travis, when it comes to completing this agreement, how will that be determined, and when will this be basically in the rearview mirror?
Well, we have an independent reviewer that is overseeing and monitoring our progress, and when that person is satisfied that we have gained that compliance, then we would expect to see a final report from him articulating that. One other thing that we are in the process of doing is coming up with a sustainability plan, and what that plan entails is an account of how we plan to sustain our compliance in all the areas that were covered in the agreement. And as I said before, 24 in all.